What happens beyond death of the physical body? Is this life in a human frame all there is, as some propose, or is there more beyond this four-dimensional physical reality? In today's episode, we will journey into those questions and see what, according to the Tanakh, Talmud, Midrash, and Jewish Kabbalah, happens to the soul once the physical body, due to age, injury, or disease, can no longer contain the energy. We are going to open one of the deepest boxes in Jewish thought, where Tanakh, Talmud, Midrash, and Kabbalah all weigh in with different layers of understanding of this question that has been pondered by human beings since we came into physical existence. The Tanakh is actually pretty quiet on the afterlife compared to other traditions. What few mentions we do have in the Torah, prophets and writings hint at, but are not clear-cut or specific, as is found in later Jewish writings and orally passed down teachings on the subject of life after physical death. Ecclesiastes, or Kohelet, chapter 12, verse 7, gives the clearest description to be found anywhere in the Tanakh when King Solomon, Shlomo, plainly states, "And the dust returns to the earth as it was, and the spirit returns to God who gave it." This suggests the soul, called neshama in Hebrew, goes back to the source when the body can no longer hold it. What we find in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7 sets the stage. Hashem breathed life into the physical body of Adam. The breath or neshama is divine energy, so when the body fails, that spark goes back to the source. We find in Daniel chapter 12 verse 2 hints at an eventual resurrection. Many who sleep in the dust shall awaken, suggesting that the soul has continuity beyond death. It is in the Talmud and Midrash where our sages of blessed memory and rabbis go much deeper. Barakot 18a says, "The righteous are called alive even in death, while the wicked are called dead even in life. The soul remains aware. It's the body that ceases functioning." Shabbat 152b compares the body to a clay flask holding light. When the flask breaks, the light escapes and rises upward. Midrash, as found in Kohelet Rabbah 12, verse 7, teaches that when death comes, the soul is reluctant to leave. Angels must coax it out. The separation is described as both a birth into the world to come and a rip in the physical frame, the breaking of the bond between body and soul. And in Pirkei Avot 4, verse 29, it is even more specific. Rabbi Eliezer HaKapar used to say, "Against your will you are formed, against your will you are born, against your will you live, against your will you die, and against your will you are destined to give an account." This frames death as part of a bigger cycle, not an end. While I don't necessarily agree with the "against your will" part of his teaching, his outline is fairly accurate. Where we really get mystical about life after physical death is in the Jewish Kabbalah, in books like the Zohar, Ari, and so on. Kabbalists teach that the soul is multi-layered. The nefesh is the life force that is tied directly to the physical body and self-aware of its physical nature. The ruach is the seat of our emotions, our human personality, while the neshama is our higher intellect, the divine spark. Kaya is our living essence and is rarely accessed during our physical incarnations, while the Yekida is our complete oneness with Source, with Hashem, the creator of all that is. At death of the physical body, regardless of cause, the nefesh lingers near the body for a time, hence the tradition of Shmira, watching the body. Ruach travels to the lower Gan Eden, also known by some as the underworld, Abraham's bosom, or for some Christians purgatory, for refinement. It should be noted that this level is not for punishment, nor is it a permanent state of being, but for reflection and refinement, for the emotions, and where one, quote, burns off the leftover effects from the no longer needed acquired human personality traits that hinder spiritual enlightenment. The neshama ascends to the higher worlds to reunite with Source. The Zohar, as found in Vayaki 2:18b, states that physical death is the kiss of God, the soul being drawn back into the infinite light from which it came. And then there is, for some, not all, reincarnation or Gilgul. If the soul hasn't completed its tikkun or rectifying repair work, parts of it may return to another physical body to finish the work. My phrasing in the beginning, "when the physical body can no longer contain the energy," is very Kabbalistic. The body is seen as a vessel for divine light. When the vessel cracks from age, injury, or disease, the light withdraws and returns to the source from which it came. In Hasidic thought, this is not just survival of the soul, but a homecoming. To sum it up for this brief introductory look at life after physical death, the Tanakh speaks of the spirit or soul returning to God. The Talmud and Midrash is adamant the soul remains conscious or self-aware, is judged, and continues in a new state. Jewish Kabbalah insists the soul's layers separate and ascend through spiritual worlds, sometime returning to be once again housed in a physical form for tikkun. All agree that physical death is a transition, not an end, and the soul or spirit is eternal, always returning to its eternal source, that which we call God, Hashem, Adonai, etc. In a future program, I hope to map out a side-by-side chart of what Tanakh, Talmud, Midrash, and Kabbalah says happens minute by minute after death, from the soul leaving the body through the first 3 days, 7 days, 30 days, and up to the final stage, our return to source. It's a fascinating comparison because Jewish sources actually outline a timeline. If this is something you'd like to see or read, leave a comment below and hit that subscribe or follow button. It's free. Also, share this and all my videos and writings, which can be found on Rumble, YouTube, Locals, Substack, and Blogger. Until next time, this is Shmuel ben Shlomi wishing you shalom.